Vespa a go-go? Ride the untraveled roads.
Most tours in Saigon will take you to random famous places without any reasons. You deserve better. This is a Saigon travel plan that makes sense, and I'll tell you why. Let's go.
Day 1. The French and the American Time. Saigon was the first capital of French Indochina in the 19th century, so it is heavily influenced by French culture until today.
Let's learn about the city by going back in the French time in District 1. This is the Notre Dame Cathedral.
The first and the most important building for the French governors, since France is a very devout Catholic culture.
It's currently under construction, so you cannot go inside. This is where the French first laid their bricks for French Indochina, literally because all of the bricks here are imported from Europe.
Right in front of the cathedral is the famous statue of Virgin Mary, or in Saigon, she's called the Queen of Peace. The biggest incident that happened here was in 2005, when local people claimed that they saw her crying. That caused a massive crowd blocking the traffic, and until today, many Catholics are still going here to pray every day. Just a stone throw away is the magnificent Central Post Office that many mistook it as a government building.
And the reason why the French built the post office before of a lot of other things is that because they need a place to gather and ship their goods to the Indochina around countries like Laos or Cambodia. So the cool thing about the post office is that this is the fully functional post office. You can buy a postcard, write down something to send home for your friends.
From here, you can go down Khoi Street, historically known as Rue Katinat.
So this is the first street that the French established, which is the most expensive street right now in terms of property values. It can cost up to 32 grand per square meter. Some people also call this the Champs-Élysées of Vietnam. You can see a lot of old buildings here. The oldest hotel in Saigon, the Continental. Right in the middle of Khoi Street is the Opera House. There's not much to do here except for the owl show, which you can see over there. The Opera House is one of the core buildings the French has to build first before many other things. Because beside the religions, like the Notre Dame Cathedral, they also want to influence the Vietnamese with their culture and arts.
You can learn so much about culture here. For example, this is Dionysus, the Greek god of wine, to represent French entertainment and parties held at this place. Don't forget to stop by Katinat, a popular cafe to cool down on a hot day in Saigon.
Next, you can visit the City Hall, which is a famous check-in spot in Saigon downtown. This building was built for the 50th anniversary of French colonization of the Vietnamese. Have some photos in front of the buildings, but also they're gonna open publicly on 2 Sundays a month for tourists to come inside and have a look around. It's a pretty cool building, very historic, very French building. Now, from the French time, let's move on to the American time at the Independence Palace. Nowadays, it is known as the Reunification Palace after the fall of Saigon on April 30th. But to be honest, the palace is interesting because of the history itself, not much because of the insides. It's gonna get hotter in the afternoon, so you should go somewhere indoors, like a gallery or a museum. My favorite place is the War Remnants Museum in District 3. It only takes you about 3 minutes to walk to here. This is the museum that tells you everything about the infamous Vietnam War. You should start your tour around the museum on the 2nd floor, room number 1. This is the most important room in the museum that you should start from.
It gives you an overview of the war from the beginning till the end, with really touching images taken in the war. Some historical facts can really blow your mind, but please note that some of the images in the Agent Orange room and the War Crimes room are quite graphic. So if you want to take your children, let them play at the playroom on the 2nd floor. Don't forget to go outside to see the prison section, where they are still keeping the old French guillotine and the gruesome prison system at the time.
So as you can see, it's a very touristy area here, but it's still a must-go place when you first arrive in Saigon. However, there's just so much more about Saigon than just these favorite spots. But we cannot make this video for an hour long. So if you really want to check out Saigon secrets, we do have a specific tour for it. Check it out. If you want a more relaxing afternoon, make sure to visit the cafe apartment on Weihui Street. At night, feel free to walk along the boulevard or the Saigon River, where you can enjoy the cool breezes and see how the young Saigonese hang out.
Day 2, Khoi Tunnel. Are you ready? We're going to the most famous site in Ho Chi Minh City. This is a spectacular underground village dug by the Vietnamese soldiers and farmers to fight against the formidable American army. Learn about how the Vietnamese lived and fought through this struggling time. Prepare to crawl down the dark and narrow tunnels.
It's pretty deep down here. That's the dead end. That's the dead end.
It's a long trip, so you should probably take a rest.
Day 2 is the perfect time to enjoy the local cuisines and Saigon's famous nightlife. Each district in the city is very different from each other, and the best way to explore them is by motorbike.
Look at this boombox spot. Cars can never go into these hidden gems around local districts in the city. So it's best to go on motorbikes traveling around Saigon.
Also, nightlife in Ho Chi Minh City is the liveliest in Vietnam, with dishes from all over the country. So you don't want to miss this diverse culinary adventure in Saigon. Some highlights are the Flower Street Food Market in District 10 and the Seafood Street in District 4. You can stay out until late at the Pub Street. Party your night away.
So I'm saying this not because we're a tour company, but seriously, booking a food tour will make everything much better and much easier because they really know where to take you to the best foods in Vietnam. Just saying.
Day 3, Chinatown.
Chinatown used to be a separate city from Saigon, and it's also one of the largest Chinatown in the world. So it's really worth spending a day going around Saigon's Chinatown.
Start the day at a dim sum restaurant for breakfast.
You should visit Minh Thai Market, where you can pretty much buy anything.
So, if a Catholic cathedral is the most important building for the French, for the Chinese, it's a market. This is also the first thing the Chinese community built coming to Saigon, because their culture revolves around trading and commerce. Feel free to walk around and see the lively local life of the Cantonese community, where they trade everything from herb stores, the decoration streets, the fabric markets, and the oldest alley in Saigon.
This is basically the mini Hong Kong of Saigon. From the old houses, the stores, the signs and banners, everything just makes it feel like being in Hong Kong.
Don't forget to visit Tin Ho Temple, the oldest Chinese temple in the city. This is the most popular tourist destination, so you expect to see a lot of tourists here.
On the last afternoon, you can visit the Dinh Market, which is the best local market for travelers to go shopping.
This is a cheaper and less aggressive place to shop compared to the famous Binh Thanh Market. You should only visit Binh Thanh for some check-in photos.
And check in at the famous Pink Thunder Cathedral, which is just a stone throw away.
The reason why it is painted pink is because there is a school and an orphanage inside, so the color represents God's love for children. Chill and enjoy your last night at a brewery or a rooftop bar in District 2, the largest Western expat area in Saigon, and admire the beauty of this wonderful city before going home.
So that's it, a typical travel plan to see the magnificent Ho Chi Minh City. But if you want to ride in travel roads and go off the beaten path, contact us and we'll take you to lesser known places that the locals don't even know about.